Buenos dias, Gunners Collective TV. Back at it, you already know. Like a torta with a snack habits. Fire, fire. Shia LaBeouf did what? That was crazy. Let's get to this intro. Welcome back to the channel. And if you haven't already hit that like and subscribe button, make sure you go ahead and do that. Put your notification bell on all so that way you're directed in the direction of the dope content that the gun stays kicking. And I appreciate the support, man. I'm very humbled by it. So Shia LaBeouf bails out after that incident that occurred at Mardi Gras out there in Louisiana, right in New Orleans. That vato bailed right out, got to running right back to Bourbon Street and got right back in the mix. Now I'm gonna start calling. I'm gonna stop calling him Shia LaBeouf. Shia LaPoof, right? Because that guy poofed back on the scene, and he might have poofed before he got back to the scene. This vato is crazy. He has to be inebriated to some point, intoxicated at some point, right? Because to go right back to what you were doing either takes super balls, super courage, or super idiocy, right? Whatever he decided to do, is on him. As a man, he wanted to get right back to the party. Okay, Shia LaBeouf definitely is different. Okay, he's a person at this point that seems to be on full crash out mode and doesn't give a shit about no gang, what nobody thinks, what he was saying, and just went right back into a mix, right back into the lion's den where he just had hands put on him. Now, according to the witnesses and everybody about that incident, they're saying Shia LaBeouf was inebriated, intoxicated, he was high, and he was making racial and homophobic slurs. Okay, now if that man was out there doing that, what he got was just the tip of the iceberg. And I know you can't say ice nowadays, but fuck it, I said it, right? That dude Shia has always struck me as a person going through some things, right? Someone who grew up in a situation out there in Echo Park where there was a lot of things going on. That right there in itself explains to me right off the bat what led him into the culture he's involved in. Okay, but the tight-ass shorts he's running around in, the Judas Priest t-shirts, I'm going to tell you guys right now, Shia's not gangbanging. Shia's on crash out mode. That's exactly what's going on with him. And he was released on a bail and went right back to the party. Now, a lot of witnesses have seen him out there on Bourbon Street continuing to do what he does like nothing happened. Not a mark on his face. So obviously, them gothic guys that put hands on him, that brother that put hands on him, didn't hit too hard because he didn't leave a mark on Shia's face. Either that or Shia went back into Transformer mode. And when I say Transformer, I mean Bumblebee. Okay, so whatever the case may be, man, there's been a lot of videos made about Shia's gang affiliation. I made one myself. And a lot of people were questioning whether he really was a gang member or it was just an acting thing. I can tell you right now, beyond a shadow of a doubt, I've talked to somebody from his neighborhood that's in very good standings. Shia LaBeouf is involved to a certain degree, allegedly, in that gang, right? But like I said, man, the gang doesn't dictate all of your program unless you allow it to. If you want to get involved in the politics of the gang banging and you want to be in the mix, well, there's plenty of room for you. Get in. That's it. There's plenty of space for you in that car. But if you just want to be associated, affiliated, part of that, and do what you do behind the scenes, well, then it is what it is. To me, Shia is not even, that's not the element of his thinking right now. This guy is going out there. He's a Hollywood star. To some people, he's a B-side player, right? But Shia's been in a lot of movies, and when you do a video on Shia, man, people tend to want to pay attention to what's going on with that man, right? Because he's unique. He's the unicorn of Hollywood, right? He's always doing something different than everybody else. With all this shit going on with Hollywood, Shia ain't tripping. He's out there, no security, by himself, in skin-tight ass shorts, partying, ese. You know what I mean? Let's party, eh? He's enjoying Mardi Gras. And he did not let them few hours that he spent in the county jail fuck it up. So to just recap, Shia LaBeouf was arrested. He was the only one arrested in the incident because from what everyone is saying, all eyewitnesses that were there, Shia LaBeouf actually started that fight. He had to be restrained and held down. And I guess those few punches that were thrown were considered sucker punches because they had to hold that sucker down. Shia LaBeouf seems to me like a person that just wants to live. He just wants to do his own thing, and he doesn't want anyone to correct his stance. He doesn't want anyone to impede his progress. He doesn't want help. And when a person that you can see on full crash out mode doesn't want help, that's a dangerous person. Not necessarily dangerous to everyone around them. Shia is 150 pounds soaking wet, so he isn't doing much damage. Not that size matters, but come on now. You're gone. Blow him down, right? But at the same time, he is definitely a danger to himself. Because if he continues to have that attitude, go out there and say racial slurs or homophobic slurs to people, then he's going to get hurt, right? You don't do that. That's not considered a good thing to do, especially when you're a Hollywood star. You know what boggles my mind is I see people get away with these racial slurs or these homophobic slurs, right? And it's like individualism and homeboy favoritism. It takes me back to my northern ways of thinking, right? Some people can get away with it. Some people can't. You could hear Wes Watson, for instance, on that video when he's assaulting that black dude, when they're getting into it. The black dude pulls up, Wes Watson gets off on him. And Wes Watson does have a case behind that. He'll be going to court pretty soon on the assault allegations, right? But if you listen to the video, Wes Watson was calling that dude all kinds of N-words, and he wasn't using the A at the end of it, right? The hard ER was calling him all kinds of N-words, disrespecting him. And then this motherfucker's popping up in videos with Kevin Gates, Rick Ross, all these brothers, man, that say that they got a lot of respect and love for their culture and their peoples, but they're partying with a straight up individual who's definitely prejudiced against their skin color or what they got going on. So he gets the pass because he got money, right? Then you got individuals like Hulk Hogan, brother, what you gonna do? That said the N-word, and his whole career went down the toilet. I mean, people were booing him. People ain't fucking with Hulk. When he died, of course, a lot of people that once said something about him came to the forefront. It's like, all is forgiven, which I understand. Usually when you pass away, the slate gets wiped clean, right? But still, that man got drugged for what he said. Well-deserved. He just, look, and I'm a Hulk Hogan. I've always been a Hulk Hogan fan since I was a little kid, right? But that man said something he shouldn't have said, and he showed his true colors, and he got drugged for it. And he deserved that, right? You can't just walk around disrespecting people based upon the pigmentation of their skin or what they identify as and get away with it and think everything's cool. There has to be repercussions for those actions. That is not wanted in society, man. We don't want people that don't want people here because they just don't like people for whatever reason. You got to have good reasoning behind it. Hulk didn't, and Hulk suffered. But you have people, like I said, like Wes Watson, who got a buttload of money, right? A boatload and a buttload. Did you catch that one, right? Of money, and he's allowed to say the N-word and still kick it with P. Diddy. Well, P. Diddy will take anybody, right? But he's kicking it with Kevin Gates and Rick Ross and all these guys, and I'm not jealous of it. I'm just saying they didn't hear the hard ER. I guess their ears were close to that one. All they see is green, not what's in between. But then you have Shia, who's a Hollywood actor who's starred in a lot of big-time movies, right? Low-budget movies and big movies. And if he was really out there saying homophobic slurs and racially motivated words, man, it's going to definitely impact his career, or it should, right? But at the same time, people pick and choose depending upon who it is. If I say something crazy, oh man, I'm getting canceled. People are tripping. Gunner Collective is this, Gunners Collective is that. And I'm just speaking truths and facts here without using racial fucking derogatory terms. And I still get the hatred, right? But so I truly hope that Shia did not crash out and say homophobic words, but it did look like a whole bunch of Judas Priest and Marilyn Manson fans were on his head. It is what it is. Shia ain't scared. Shia is right back out on the same street by himself doing the same thing. When he was arrested, he got charged with the assault. He got charged with some petty misdemeanor crimes, to which he bailed right out. This man didn't have no one pick him up at the county. This man didn't have no extra set of clothes at the county. This man walked right out of the county jail TMZ, all these fucking reporters are right there trying to get the scoop. He ain't got nothing to say, man. I'll tell you one thing about Shia. You could do a crime with him. He ain't telling on nobody. That motherfucker too stupid to tell, right? He ain't doing shit. That fool took off running right back to Bourbon Street. Same clothes that he had on the night before. Same everything. Got him a little bagel and a croissant and got right back to the liquor, right? Got right back to the party. And he's out there right now as we speak doing his thing. I ain't mad at him. That's an individual that shows no concern for anyone else nor himself. But also at the same time, man, he's going to do him, whether you like it or not. I could respect when people do them, when they're on their own program, when they don't give a fuck what the masses and the majority think. See, I identify with that. I'm one of those type of people. I'm going to do me no matter what you think or what anyone else thinks. And at the end of the day, let the chips fall where they may. You know what I'm saying? And if you know, you know. That's some knowledge you can't get in college. I respect individuals like that are singular. You know what I'm saying? Not singular cellular, but singular. People that are motivated to be bolo, do their own thing with respect. But you can't be out there talking shit and causing disruption and disturbances because, man, bad shit could happen. You know, people can get caught up in the melees behind one man who seems to be anti-everything at this point. Now, the big focus of my last video was that he was a gang member, a Southsider, allegedly, not even allegedly, a self-proclaimed Southsider. And a lot of people were flabbergasted. They didn't know that. They thought that was just acting in the movie he played in. Oh, yeah, he did play a Southerner in a movie, right? But that tattoo that he has is real. His representation of Southern California is real. But don't tie in what he's doing right now to any of the South Side shit. That just goes to show you that everybody's a Southerner. So, you know, Southsiders are probably one of the deepest groups in the world when it comes to gangs, right? So it's not far-fetched to think that famous people are Southerners or even Northerners, because there are a lot. You know, the video I did yesterday about Cain Velasquez, a lot of people, you know, have tried to say in the past because he lives in Northern California that he represents the North End, and that's no, not at all. But Shia does represent the South, right? Because it's come out of his own mouth and because that's what he has chosen to do. And ain't nothing wrong with that. Ain't nothing wrong with that. He's not out there gang banging in New Orleans. None of this was gang related. This was a simple incident of him drunk and high, allegedly, right? Going out there talking shit, and he got clipped. He got smacked down. Somebody said, you know what? Shut up. And that's what happened to Shia LaBeouf. Anyways, he was arrested. There's videos of his arrest, and he's subsequently been released, bailed out, and he's back on Bourbon Street right now getting his beads on. That vato has more beads than vatos that were out there 24 hours already. You know, and it would be a trip to see Shia partying. Like, I would be walking around like, what the fuck? Look at that Shia. What is it? Hey, fucking, how did Megan Fox smell? Right? You know what I mean? Like, but at the same time, you could tell that he's not the type of guy that wants to have a conversation with just anybody. He has the people that he talks to, and it seems like he talks to the commoners, the common people, regular people. See, he's not like Wes Watson running around with millionaires and trying to get clout off the same people that he's warred with in prison, off the same people that he calls the hard ER, off the same people you know he doesn't like or care for, but they got money, and that makes it cool, right? Shia doesn't seem to do that. He seems to be with the common folk, the regular people, the civilians, the people that are just out there having a good time, just like he is. You know, it's hard, and I could understand if you ever got clout or became an actor or someone who's world-renowned or well-known. You know, it's probably hard, a hard existence to go out there and just go to Winchell's and get a donut, right? It's probably hard to just go to the mall and go pick up a pair of shoes that you see that you want, because you're going to have people that give you no privacy. And I believe totally honestly, man, Shia LaBeouf seems like the person that wants privacy. He just wants to do him. You know, he might have, like I said, seen the gang thing as a way to become a part of something that he's always been suspicious about or kind of, you know, intrigued by. And so he did that, but it doesn't seem like that's on his mind anymore. It doesn't seem like representing the double S is a top priority of his. What it seems like right now with Shia is partying, having a good time, just being him. And it's unfortunate that sometimes actors, famous writers, singers, whatever, can't. Famous people can't just do them. You know, but that's the life you live. That's part of, you want the money, you want the fame, there's the glory, right? You're going to have people that are entranced by you and want to go and talk to you. They just want to get an autograph, a hug, a picture. Nowadays everybody wants a selfie. You can just go on AI and get a selfie with The Rock. If you smell what that's cooking, right? You can do whatever you want nowadays with AI, but people want to meet people because they feel like, oh man, I met him, man. He was a good dude. He was a good dude. Shia's not out there trying to do that. Shia's out there just with the common folks out there sipping at Mardi Gras and getting into fist fights, straight up, handling business. Now, of course, him challenging people because of their sexual orientation or fucking color, that's bullshit, right? You don't do that, man. If you don't, here's my thing. I don't have to agree with everything that's going on around me, but I don't have to participate in it either. See, I'm a grown man and I make decisions solely based on what's best for me and my family. So if I see something going on right here that I don't want to agree with or I don't like looking at, right, I'm just going to turn the other way. It doesn't make me a punk, doesn't make me a sucker, man, but anything that I have to say, man, can be used against me. So I'm not going to say nothing. And it's not because I'm scary or because I don't want conflict over something that's never going to change. It's only getting to become more and more relevant in today's society, right? If you know what I'm talking about, read between the lines. So I just tend to walk away. See, Shia had to be drunk, had to be high. He wasn't going to just walk away. He was going to do him and do him the way he wanted to do him. And that was just it. So anyways, he got back out, man, bailed out, and he's back partying. I think that man needs help. I think he needs someone to guide him to a place or a way of thinking like, man, I don't want to see you get caught up. I don't want to see Shia get put in a situation where he disrespects the wrong person and they do something real horrible to him. Because I've always liked Shia as far as his movies, and he seems pretty different as a person, but not a bad person. But when you're out there saying racial slurs and homophobic slurs and all that, bro, you're gonna get got. See, this is a different world we're living in nowadays, man. You gonna get beat up by a shit, homie. Straight up. They're gonna fuck around and take you around the corner, not gonna do something horrible to you. You better watch out. You better not cry. It's all your fault, and I'm telling you why. You can't be out there disrespecting people. It don't matter what they are or who they are at this point in life, man. Especially when you represent, no matter what Shia says, no matter what he's out there doing in them short-ass shorts, that dude represents the South Side, right? So you have to carry yourself with a bit of professionalism and act and become a certain, you got to just carry yourself better than the way he's carrying himself. He's over there running around looking like a member of AC/DC. For real, man. He's, you know what I'm saying? And I don't know what him and Rob Halford have done to each other, right? And Judas Priest. I'm just saying, he's not out there up to Southsider standards, or at least not the Southerners that I'm used to seeing, So anyways, with that being said, I just wanted to put out there, he got out, went right back to the party. He said, fuck everybody and everything and those charges. I'm going right back to the scene of the crime and getting me another Malibu rum. And that's just what it is. With that being said, man, let me know what you guys think, man. Is Shia just on full crash out mode, or is he just trying to do him respectfully, right? Or disrespectfully? Either way, he's trying to do it. Thumbs up or thumbs down. Heavy's going to be the head that wears the crown. I'm going to continue to strive, struggle, and strive for what I truly and honestly believe in, and that's the betterment of all people. My head is shiny than a motherfucker, but it really ain't like that. Look, it's the light. Got my shit looking like a motherfucking shine factory, huh? It's crazy. Anyways, this video is sponsored by Vario Liquors out there in Turlock, California. If you're ever in the Turlock area, man, pull up. Go to the Vario. Get you something cold to drink and go support your local business. Also by Sticks and Stones Yard Service in Big Bad, Arizona, man. If you're in the AZ area, you need someone to do your yard, pick up the fucking phone and call Sticks and Stones Yard Service, man. And I'm sure he'll come and hook you up for a reasonable price. With that being said, let me know what you guys think about Shia. Is it just him just being him? Or something going on with that Vato? Because I'm telling you, he's on unicorn shit. He's out there just prancing and shit around Bourbon Streets. It's pretty odd. Hey, he went from creeper to creeper. I don't know, man. I don't know. Anyways, man, thank you guys for all the support, man. Let's get to it. Bang, bang.